Chafing Armor Podcast, episode 98, Into the Pit.
Again. Sorry.
Whoop, that's okay. Welcome back to the Chafing Armor Podcast. I'm your host and lovable Dungeon Master, Michael Corley. And with us tonight is our special guest, Tia. Tia, tell everyone who you will be playing.
Hi, I'm playing Lashra. I'm an elf who really sucks with daggers.
We had an epic dagger moment last episode. Harley, encourage everyone to check that out. Before we go any further, just real quick, Tia, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitch, Roleplayers, all one word, ROLEPLAYERS. Wow, I spelled that correctly, yes, go me! And the same Roleplayers_TV on Twitter.
Excellent, and I will do my very best. I'm so bad at remembering these things, but I will do my very best to put that in the show notes as well. And also with us tonight is Izzy. Izzy, tell everyone who you will be playing.
Tonight I will be playing Marizi Mugra, half-orc barbarian, raised by her orcish mother in the Mugra clan.
Indeed, raised by her mother, not by her poor, pathetic, weak human father. Oh, sorry, no, she doesn't actually think that. She actually likes her father relatively.
She's never met him, actually.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I forgot.
Yeah, he ditched the Mugra clan, and then 9 months later, pop, Marizi.
As it is with them orcs. And also with us tonight is Riley. Riley, tell us who you will be playing.
Hi, I'm playing Thora Greyfield, a tiefling fighter.
Tiefling fighter who's got some ice issues going on. We'll get into that more later. Some stuff going on there. You have just let it go. And also with us today is Dare. Dare, tell everyone who you will be playing.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Dare, and I'm playing Tix Birchmanson, your punless gnome cleric.
What fun is that?
And speaking of the very master of puns, we have James. James, tell us who you are playing.
Who, me? Hi, I'm James, and I'm playing Penton Chalice, a spell scale sorcerer. And yes, puns. Often.
And last but definitely not least, since we don't know your character's name, Lee, tell us what you are playing.
G'day everybody, I'm Lee, and I'll be playing a black as night, shifty little Kinku.
Kinko, excuse me.
When we last left our characters, they had been heading north. Now I'll just copy your sounds. Copy your sounds for days. When we last left our players, they were heading north to the encampment called Timberspire, looking for the tiefling Prognati. However, a slight interruption as it began to snow in these colder realms were 3 giant magma bears who were trying to kill a elf woman who introduced herself later as Lashra, the bard, who had been investigating a pit and found someone inside when she was attacked by these magma bears, and she invited all of you to come with her. You all had a rather epic battle where actually Penton nearly died because of the flaming menstruations of these bears, and he is now resting in the
what? The what?
I didn't say anything.
I'm sorry, what?
Wait, what?
That just filtered through my brain for a second.
Were they all girl bears?
I believe that I was trying to say ministrations, and my brain just let me down.
Wow.
And there's no
I'm
way
sure
I'm
the flames were
out.
coming from their mouths.
Penton!
Just asking. Just
Bad
asking.
spell scale sorcerer. Bad.
That is
So the bears are
no
only
money.
dangerous every 28 days?
Wow.
Yeah.
Moving on swiftly.
So moving right along.
Anyway.
You are all trekking north, following Lashra. Penton, you are gently sleeping underneath Audrey as your body has healed somewhat. Did we?
Would you say that it's a short rest or a long rest?
I would say it is a short rest.
No, I don't actually know the rules for a short
There's
rest.
no short rests in 5,
Yeah, well,
3.5.
that's the other thing is there's no short rest in 3.5. But you were healed somewhat by Tix. Is that not correct?
That is correct.
sir. Yeah, I'm actually back to full points.
Yes. One of the advantages of having so few hit points is it is also easier to bring you back to full hit points.
Yay!
Wow, that would be nice. Want to come at my 23 hit points maybe sometime?
So I want to give y'all the chance to say or do anything before we get to the meat of the podcast or to the story.
So Tix turns to our elf companion Bard and asks her name. What nom de plume do you go by as a musical guide?
I look at you for a moment, and Lashra, as you can see the dots connecting in her eyes as she kind of repeats in her head what you're saying, and then tries to disassemble it and put it back together in the most base form of common. Lashra, my name's Lashra.
Pleasure to meet you, Lashra. We have quite the group here. You are welcome to join us, and we are glad to come to your aid to this pit, and you'll have to tell us about it. My name is Tix, and I introduce Pinton, Merezi,
Hello.
Athora, and then I look over at the Kinku. And we have yet to figure out our companion's name over here.
How very interesting. I walk over to the Kenku and kind of just circle around it, bending low, looking at the legs, bending up, seeing if I can see over it. So, if you don't know your friend's name, how... And she kind of points both of her index fingers up, and then one at the Kenku, and then one at the group, and then crosses them back and forth. How did this come to interest?
Well, friend might be too strong a term at this point, but we are traveling together to on this quest for the gods. So we are companions at the moment.
At this point, a perfect replica of the directives of the Raven Queen echoes from the Kenku's mouth.
Yes, the Raven Queen.
And you hear the very voice of a god reflected back to you, Lashra, as it calls out to heal the staff, find Prognati, save the world.
More an
So-
echo
That's
of,
just Tuesday.
of an aspect or an avatar of a god. The
Yes,
real
which
voice
is
of a
why
god
you're-
would probably kill people, but
Indeed. This is when y'all have interacted with gods, they are all
This
slight
is some-
avatars.
this is at some Alanis Morissette kind of levels from Dogma.
How very interesting. The Raven Queen. And again, the nodding, like she totally understands, doesn't understand at all. No,
So
I've already forgotten what she said. Aren't memories such a fickle thing? And she kind of walks round.
well, you should be able to get plenty of material for your next song. We have a bard named Fugly that has written a
Written,
song
I think
about
the word is.
Audrey 3.
I think
That's
and,
the
Oh
line,
yeah,
by
it's a
the
lovely
way.
song. You should learn it. It's great.
and the funny thing is, Lashra, as a bard, you have actually heard this song. It's called Chicken Hut, and it is kind of just one of those how popular songs kind of travel really fast among the realms. And you've actually heard it. You've never
sing it.
Give me a quick performance check. I want to see a performance check, and tell them what instrument you play.
Well, I was just going to sing it, but if I were to do it with an instrument, actually, no, for this, I think I'm just going to sing it. My instrument will come later.
Beautiful.
And I just sing the chicken butt song? Was that it?
Chicken Hut.
Chicken Hut.
Yeah.
Well, I freestyle
I like chicken butt.
I freestyle with it a little bit, and I turn it into the chicken butt song.
That's actually what I was going to say is that you put your own spin on it, which is the way of bards. In this world, it's not that you sing the song exactly the same. Every bard puts their own little thing, and the first one is just very fun. It's very playful. He stumbles left, he stumbles right. He thinks he's going to attack, and this one is a little more body, and there's chicken butts and stuff coming out of it, and it's quite delightful. What did you roll, by the way?
27.
So y'all are enchanted by this rendition of Chicken Hut that she puts on.
As the Kenku is listening, kind of picks up when choruses are and begins to echo the chorus in her own voice, right back at her every time she gets to it.
We harmonize! Yes! That's awesome!
He's like a looper.
And since you told me that you were kind of a little loosey-goosey, fast with the rules, I'm going to pitch this to you, and at the end of the song, I want to cast legend lore, and it takes quite a bit of time to do so. So I either want to try to blend it in with the song, have it come after the song, or make it seem like part of an interpretive dance for the song that's like 40 minutes long. It's like a YouTube video that somebody shows you and you really don't want to watch it all the way to the end, but like you do so to be nice.
Oh, so most YouTube videos.
I don't know who that was, so I'm just laughing to laugh. And I want to know who this Kenku is.
Interesting. So I'm looking here. There is no save versus this. It's a divination roll for legend lore. So I was trying to see if there is...
Normally it looks like it has to be like a super important person, place, or thing. It doesn't specify whether or not you need to know the name of the person. And since these heroes are helping me, I kind of want to do something nice for them. And I don't know anything about Kenkus. I don't know that they can only repeat stuff back. So that's where Lashra's going with that. If it doesn't work, totally fine. It could fizzle out and she's just standing there dancing awkwardly.
So I would like you to roll a performance check. And this, since you're not using your preferred instrument, it is your performance roll is added. But
I have dance, keyboard instruments, percussion.
So I'm going to say this is dance. Yep,
okay.
This is dance.
All right, we're dancing. No.
It's a 1.
It's a 1.
It's a 1.
It's a 1.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful.
Why are you like this, Dice? Why?
You now know every name that it's not with such a catastrophic failure.
You fit right in. You fit right in with those kinds of roles. This group just has such a wide spread.
This is painful.
And
it's
so
our curse. You're going to bring it with you back to your other D&D stuff.
I'm afraid so.
I'm taking out the special dice for this. The one. You're just wait for it. Hang on. Gotta open up the box. Okay. Come here. Oh no, this one has. Okay, there we go. Hey, Big Mama, let's do this. All right. Boom. Not failing another roll.
Okay, We are ready to go. So just so you know, y'all, she sings for like about 10 minutes. That's how long this legend lore takes to cast. She weaves in the spell with it. Penton, you actually kind of wake up because you actually feel the magic of the spell. You don't feel anything like offensive.
Right,
like
but something's happening.
Something's happening, and your natural innate magic sense kind of wakes up and wakes you up from your pseudo nap. And Lee, you feel something, not like a psychic attack, but you feel like something reaching inside and kind of probing around your essence. And there's a sound off in the distance that you all almost hear, but you can't quite make it out. And you know that if you could hear that sound, it might give you a clue of this Kinku's name. But because at the last moment, like there's like an off moment.
Record scratch.
Record scratch. She stumbles over a root, and the magic that she was building to actually fails. And so nothing happens. But you all kind of feel that it's just kind of a weird little moment. And that's when y'all all hear something. You hear, help! Help!
All right.
From where?
From just a little further north of you, the direction that Lasher has been taking you.
Oh, is that the man in the
All right.
hole?
It's the whole man.
Edgar.
Teleforce.
A reference no one's going to get.
Well, we should probably head in that direction if that's what you want us to say, DM.
Well, I'm waiting for y'all.
So, Lashra, do you know anything about the guy in the hole?
I hear he's very rich.
Oh.
Mmm.
I'm sure some of you'd be interested in that. Well, on then.
Okay, you start making your way forward. The first thing that y'all see is kind of almost like a low fog. It is stopped snowing for now, though the clouds are kind of gathering, and you can see that there's probably more snow coming on the way. It is steadily getting colder. It's now below freezing, but just below freezing. And for our international listeners, Lee, what is that temperature in Celsius? Because I can never remember.
Which temperature?
Oh, 0. Oh my gosh, that's where my brain is. That I actually just asked you what freezing is in Celsius. Oh my god.
Yeah, zero.
As if the entire point of Celsius is that freezing is 0.
Base 10, not base fairy magic, whatever the hell Imperial is.
Yes, that is.
It's true, and you should say it.
It is so. That is so embarrassing. Anyway, and I'm totally leaving that in. You
come at me, internet.
You make your way forward, and there's kind of a low fog, but it is not a normal fog. It is slightly greenish.
Oh boy.
Mmm.
I want to take a gander at it with my, detect magic vision and see if it's like something created or if it's just some kind of like natural effect.
There's no real roll to make.
No.
It is absolutely magical. It is dangerous. It is not. It is somewhat dissipating, but it would probably be better if y'all did not go through it. Let me put it that way.
Is it higher than Audrey 3's knees?
No, it is not.
I would recommend that, Penton, you get out of the nutsack and get into Audrey 3, please.
Good plan. We should all come up here and we can get a good vantage point.
I think everybody should go up into Audrey.
See.
I'll have Audrey hunker down and make a low distance for everybody to get in.
Mm-hmm. And Audrey is starting to get rather hungry, but it's still not a problem right now. You can tell this, Penton. And y'all all clamber inside. Lashra, as you come inside the chicken hut, you have a TARDIS moment where it is bigger on the inside. Despite being 5 by 5, it is about 30 by 30 on the inside and is a small living domicile.
Well, I'll be.
I suppose they do that sort of thing. And very good and very simple solution. This wasn't like a devastating attack, but it was something you didn't really want to go through. As you very easily, with Audrey, boom, 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 make your way through this dissipating green fog. As you do and look out around you, there is a concentric circles radiating outwards that is blasted. So there is like a center area, and something happened here. But it's not like an explosion, like a bomb went off in the middle and radiated outwards. Oops, hit my mic. It's like a magic spell or something like that, or a giant fire. Everything is blackened and dead. All vegetation in here is dead. Some of the rocks have actually turned black and have cracked. And in the center is a sloping downwards pit, and that is where you can hear the voice coming from.
Oof, how many pits have we gone into? I'm lost count.
Hey, are you dead?
This is the fourth one, just for the record.
Fourth thing.
Thank you for keeping counter.
Well,
When you call out Morezi, a voice goes, "Oh, hello! I thought I heard someone earlier. Please help me. I am definitely going to die. Please help me."
Okay.
What are you dying of?
There's something has my leg,
Oh,
and I can't get free, and I think it might be asleep, but when it wakes up, I think it's going to kill me.
Well, if it hasn't woken up yet, that means it's probably deaf.
Yes, it is definitely deaf. Or it seems to be, because I screamed quite a bit when it happened earlier.
And
what does it feel like? Like a hand, a claw?
I'm gonna go.
Vines?
Yeah, vines, like vines, tentacle, something like that.
Oh boy.
This is going to be interesting.
Well,
Tentacles.
do we have any rope? And not the 3-foot rope.
You all have rope.
Yeah. We're gonna try lowering some rope down to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
I don't think that might be a little bit like fishing if it's alive. We start pulling him up and then it goes to eat him and pulls him
Well,
down.
I'm not entirely certain there's actually a person in there right now. It might
That
just
was
be
my
a
thought
decoy,
too,
something
Penton.
in there that's pretending to be a person and is trying to lure us in. So we're going to see what happens when it starts lashing onto the rope.
I'm totally a real person, and you should come down here now with no weapons. No, it doesn't say that.
Strip
We
naked
have
and dive
cookies?
in. It's all very
Season
fine.
yourself. Maybe some butter.
Thin mints. Thin mints.
Yes.
Anyway, rope. Yeah.
Okay. You very easily can tie it together. Who would actually? Are y'all going to all hold on together? Are you going to tie this around to a rock? How is this going to work?
Definitely
Morezi,
seems like I'd be the best one to do it.
yes, you're going to be the anchor, and I will throw it. Or, actually, let's have Athora throw it. I think she might have a better reach than I do.
Okay. I think that's very fair.
I think everybody does.
Thora, would you do a rope handling for me and give that a throw?
Rope handling would be under what? Like, or just
Use
roll?
It would be a skill, or use rope.
It's in the bottom of the skill list.
That is a 16.
16. So, Morezi, you're holding on to the back with your prodigious strength, and Thora comes forward, clank, 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 and boom, throws down where the voice is, and you hear a slight pause, and he goes, I've got it tied around. Could you gently pull me out?
All right, Morezi, brace yourself. I'm going to start having Audrey back up.
All right. Wait. So I don't need to do strength check because Audrey's gonna do it.
Well, I'll leave that to the DM to interpret.
Well, it's whatever. You said that Merezi is wrapped around, so I'm going to have Merezi do a quick strength test for me.
All right. 21.
21. As you and pull forward, and you actually hear this like whoo, and scrabbling up, you actually see a man come out of the pit. He is human, absolutely human, and he is has raven dark hair that is in a long braid. He's got a kind of a long floppy hat that he's wearing. He is wearing he is dressed like an adventurer, but it's more like a explorer than a combatant. And you see that he's got a backpack, and you can actually see a part of a book sticking out of the top. And he looks up as he comes out, and he kind of tilts his head a little bit, and he looks at you, Merezi, and he says, "Yamish?"
I think you have me confused for someone. That's the name of my mother.
Oh,
no.
Well, my name is Dimwolf. Dimwolf of New Rock.
I don't believe I've ever... Hey! Wait a minute!
You're of the Mugra clan?
Yeah, all 17 years of my life.
17. And he kind of pushes back a braid of his hair. It's starting to gray at the corners. And he goes, I think I might be your and just tentacles come lashing out behind you and wrap around him, and he goes, ah! And I need everyone to roll for initiative.
Okay.
That's about right, karmically.
You're using the special dice now.
Special dice. And so I would like Lasha, what did you get?
In total, that would be a 7, because
A 7.
all of my dice hate me equally today. You're all traitors.
It's a 7. And Lee?
23.
23 for the Kinku. A little bit faster. And Penton?
14.
14 for Penton, and for Tix?
14 as well.
Tix is a 14, and also for Athora?
13.
13 for Athora. And Morezi?
9.
9 for Merezi. So, anyone who has a dungeoneering skill can make a roll now if you'd like.
Dungeoneering.
Knowledge.
Knowledge of dungeon, yes.
Merezi should do that one. I 0 intelligence modifier.
Nobody? Anybody? Nothing?
It's okay if you don't. I just wanted to give you
I
an
sure
opportunity.
I don't.
Unfortunately, that is not in Tix's wheelhouse.
Okay.
Could local work, since Dukenko is actually technically a local?
He is a local, but this is more of literally a dungeon type creature.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Wilderness lore?
I will let you do that, but only if you roll very high.
Alright. That is just a 10, so no.
10. Yep. So y'all don't know what this is. Just flinging tentacles coming out, and not like big, huge, like Cthulhu-sized tentacles, but like thin and very fast and whipping, and this rocky protrusion comes out, and it is just horrifying. But it also it's one of those things where it doesn't look right. It doesn't look right to begin with, but there's something wrong with it. Like it is cracked and blackened like the rest of this land here, and its body is malformed as it comes spiraling upwards, and it currently has Dimwolf wrapped up in several of its tentacles, and if you don't do something, he is definitely going to die. And that will actually bring it to the Kinku's turn.
Okay. I'm going to. Okay, I'm going to take out a sack, cover it in oil, light it, and throw it at into the pit.
Okay. When you say into the pit, like behind the creature, or into the creature is emerging from the pit. So
okay, so into the creature then. Yeah, I thought it was like taking up the pit, but yeah, I'll throw it at the creature. You know what? I'll throw it at the creature and just see what happens.
Okay. Now, I will absolutely allow you to do that. I do need you to make one roll to successfully light the fire,
Okay.
and then a roll to the throw.
That's a 19 on the die to roll the... Wait, no.
Okay.
16, sorry, on the die to roll to light the fire.
That is more than enough. It's not terribly, but you need to, under pressure, you do need to successfully roll, and you do so. So now the attack.
Okay, so that's a 19. Plus my dex, I guess, if I'm throwing it.
Yes, this is a dexterity throw.
So 24.
But that 24. Okay, so it hits and the creature it has a rocky hide, but you manage to hit it just right so that some of it strikes inside of its mouth, some of it hits its sort of cataract and scarred eye. It does appear to be able to see. It has a monstrous eye in the center. And
we now can categorize it because we know it's a monster that goes as opposed to a monster that might go.
Exactly. So
I know exactly what it is, and I hate these things.
And it is something's wrong with it, so don't expect anything quite. But it is
probably undead.
It is not undead, because otherwise someone could cast a very useful spell.
Yeah.
But
we don't want useful things in here.
No.
We do not. And so roll that fire damage.
Oh, D6, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
6.
6, and I am going to roll. So it will persist for 2 more rounds as it continues to burn.
Our bard wouldn't happen to know what our newfound bard wouldn't happen to know what this thing is. Being a bard.
Bards tend to have arcane lore and just know things. So if you would like to make a knowledge check, Lashra, you absolutely can.
Oh, heck yeah. Come on.
It's a 1.
It's a 7 this time. But
A 7?
It's got tentacles.
That is
definitely has
without a
tentacles.
doubt
Yeah,
a kraken.
unfortunately,
I
that
have
is-
seen one before. Nope, that is a kraken. I am 100%. It is the very rare cave kraken, I say, with like 100%.
We have fought the kraken
Don't joke, we
before.
fought a kraken before.
Well,
Yes,
you know what? This is another variation. It's a modded version.
It's a baby
It's a baby. It's a baby.
It's baby. They're like turtles. They crawl to shore.
Where's the
Big
nearest
little
water,
pits.
by the way, again? Since we're up in the snowy mountains again. He's crawled a long way.
I can't even. I love that she says that. That's amazing. And that will actually bring it to you, Penton. You've standing out of your gotten out of your sling a little bit ago, and you're near Audrey, and you were getting ready to help if necessary. And so you are a little ways back, and then this thing comes up. It's burst into flames. It looks incredibly dangerous, even though you do not know what it is.
Right. Well, if it bursts into flame, then it's going to be an easier target to see. So I'm gonna throw a set of magic missiles at it.
Okay.
And I will infuse them with my cool Dragon God's energy, because
probably a good idea.
Thing needs to be stopped because it's hideous and I don't even know what it is. So here we go. Oh, that's pretty good. That'd be 19 points of damage.
19 is, again, Lashra, you see the magic missiles come out and they take on the aspect of a dragon's face as they slam into this creature that screams and writhes, and the tentacles whip every which way. They do not nay, though. Just, I want to be clear on that.
Oh, man.
Oh,
This is the hunger.
Careful with that reference. It's an antique. And that will bring it to you, Tix.
Tix is going to jump and try and grab one of the tentacles and cast Inflict Moderate Wounds.
Okay. Now, normally when you do a touch attack, you do actually, it doesn't get a dex bonus. However, this one just has natural armor. It's a Rocky Boy. And so you still do need to succeed on its AC hit.
Right. And that is a 16 plus 22.
That will hit. You can actually feel like the magic coursing in. You actually oomph it in, and it goes through the rock to actually attack the part underneath. That it's resisting you, but the power of your god is stronger. And roll that damage.
16 points of damage.
16 as it screams, and one of the 6 tentacles actually disintegrates as you grab hold of it. You grab hold, and as the tentacle is like whipping at your face, and then you pour the power of your god into it, and you actually see it, and it shatters. And the thing doesn't really care for that too much. I'm just gonna come right out and say it. But you've already done 41 points of damage to this thing. As Athora, it is your turn.
All right. Attack with my sword. A 20, not natural.
That will hit.
Okay.
Oh, I apologize. That is the problem with our homebrew. Is we decided in our homebrew that Defender wins, and it has an AC of 20, so that actually does not hit.
Oh.
So go for it again on your second one.
Natural 20.
Natural 20 always hits. Roll that damage and double it.
$28 points of damage.
Ooh.
Nice.
Slam.
Tell me what that looks like when you slam into the side of this thing with your sword.
I raise my sword up, I falter for a second, then I raise it again, and in practically slow motion, I bring my sword down in a mighty slash, and hits the monster.
Okay. Very, very nice. And it just cracks into the side of it. This blackened thing just starts to ooze out like this horrible black ichor that must be what passes for blood in this horrifying creature. And that will bring it to Morezi's turn.
Thank God there wasn't any ichor.
Yeah, no ichor. Only ichor.
Well, Morezi had to take a little while, maybe take a bit of a later turn because she's just a little bit in shock, and she'd like to attempt to attack this nasty boy with her halberd. 19.
19 total?
Yeah, and then an 11.
Neither of those will hit. Perhaps you're a little stunned by, and you're trying extra hard not to hit the individual in front of you as you're chung into this thing. It's just its hide is literally rock, and it's just not quite getting through with your attacks. And that will bring it to Lasha. Lashra, I'm sorry, as I pronounce your character's name.
So I'd like to imagine that this whole time, because they're the heroes and I'm not, that I'm backing up, kind of the way that we came, and it's just at the last moment that I go, well, they did kind of save my life, and I'm going to cast a Sphere of Invisibility so it catches all of them and makes them all invisible. But not the monster.
Interesting. So describe to me as a bard what that looks like when you do it, and what it looks like when you play your instrument.
So I have an ocarina that I begin to play. I wish. I used to know that. Thank you.
I didn't even like Zelda, and I know that.
Everybody knows it. Oh, I was trying to remember the actual buttons for it, though, but that's another time.
Oh, the C buttons?
Yeah, the C buttons. I used to know it off by heart. But, and I play it kind of gently. I don't really want it to be heard, but the notes become kind of physical manifestations of notes, and it's almost as if you were seeing the different symbols and such coming off the page, and they're black notes, but if anyone were to see them, which they of course can't, so I guess I'm describing for the audience, it would be like a black kind of hazy manifestation around each of those notes, and it would put a black dome over the crew, and then it would dissipate, and once it did, everything inside of it would be invisible.
Indeed, as Invisibility Sphere is a pretty cool spell, and instead of simply whacking at this creature with your whip, you very intelligently begin this song, and you all kind of instinctively know that you are all now invisible, and it's very strange sensation as it happens, and as the song only lasts for a moment, yet it seems to go on for hours. And that was a very appropriate time. By the way, your initiative was a 7, Lashra. The Roper, as I said the creature's name now, you all know it anyway because I showed you the picture, got a 6. And so it was very fortunate that you went first and they went second, because it is now attacking them at disadvantage.
It's not a roper, it is a baby kraken trying to make its way to shore.
Yes, it's a baby kraken. And it is trying, this is very fortunate for a certain person, because with one of its tentacles destroyed, it is actually going to release Dimwolf and turn to you, Athora, who have that critical hit against it. And it is going to go to town, but it has a disadvantage, so that is a miss. That is a miss. That is a miss.
Yay!
And that is a miss. And so that is why it is so, because two of those hits, two of those would have hit.
Ow.
But y'all are invisible, and it's just like these y'all all see these just flailing tentacles coming out, and Athora, you are just ducking and weaving as they come flailing at you, but it misses because of that invisibility spell. 2 of them would have hit you.
Awesome.
It has 4 attacks, but it is not successful. Oh wait, let me double check one last thing, just to make sure. I want to be fair to the monster.
No.
No, I'm sorry. It does have 1 more attack, but it's still a disadvantage.
Well, is it still holding on to the guy?
It had to let go of him in order to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. It had to let go in order to do its full attack. And again, it would have hit you, but it rolled a 2 when it tried to bite you with disadvantage. So that will actually bring it now to... what the heck did I put down there? Who hasn't attacked yet?
This round?
Literally just went, and I was 7, and the Roper thing was 6. So I don't know if that's
my brain, oh my god, guys. I know you're all with me, but oh my gosh. So, cutting all that out, we go back to our favorite Kinku. It is your turn. I'm sorry, and I also, now that the round has ended, it has also taken 1 more point of fire damage.
Yay!
But it is still burning. Hey, it's better than nothing, and it's your turn, Mr. Kinku.
Okay, so I let go of the dude. That's it. I'm going to pull him away and throw him into Audrey.
Okay. If that is going to be your round, then I'd like you to make a roll to attack. I mean, not to attack, but to throw.
To grapple instead.
Mm-hmm.
Denwolf. That's a non-natural 20.
Nice. It does get a chance to whip its tentacle at him as you, not you because you're coming in, but as he's leaving. But he rolls a 3 both times at disadvantage, and so you just fling him forward and just imagine like slow motion the tendrils going psh, 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 through the air, and he into Audrey. As Audrey kind of boom, 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 takes a few steps backwards automatically at Penton's request. And speaking of Penton, it is your turn.
Yay! All right. It didn't seem to like the flaming bag very much, so I'm going to try some flame myself and send a scorching ray its way.
Nice.
Now this will be a touch attack, so I don't know how that affects its AC. It's considered a touch attack.
With this one, it is a touch attack, but it has natural armor, so it is not affected. Unfortunately, you still have to roll its full armor.
All right. Make sure I've got my... Yes, okay. 23.
That will hit.
All right. All right, and that's going to be 4d6 of flame damage. Oh my. 18 points.
18 points of damage.
Yeah. Now, how does a roper feel about flame damage?
It does not like it. It does not care for it at all. It has absolutely no resistance to fire. By the way, this roper, y'all, when you touch the side and send that flame into it, its outer shell just cracks all along, and it's still alive. It's still kicking, but you start to see that ichor just spilling out now as it is badly injured by your attack.
Nice.
And you got it kind of on the ropes. And speaking of 3-foot ropes, Tix, it is your turn.
Aw, you got it on the
All right.
ropes. Aw,
Yeah.
boo.
Accidental puns are the best.
Tix shakes his head and looks sideways at Penton and goes back to work. And
What did I do?
the puns.
Oh.
It's always the puns. And we'll take Destiny Seeker and run up to hit the roper right in the face.
Okay.
Smack.
Give me that roll.
And that is a wonderful 4.
You come up and you crack into it, and it's still made of rock, and you can't, even though it's got that giant crack in it, you couldn't. It's moving so quickly, you couldn't quite reach the crack as you were trying to, and that will bring it to Athora.
All right. Let's attack again. 18. So, first.
18, unfortunately, will not hit.
All right. 12.
Unfortunately, will not hit. Y'all are just ching, 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 ching. It's like trying to attack the side of a building. This thing is just made of rock. So it's very, very hard to get those strikes through. But that does mean that it's Morezi's turn.
All right, halberd time. 11.
Nope.
And then a natural 20. Thank the dice.
Nice. So I do want you to roll for the damage and let us know how much damage that is. It has
24.
24. So it had 4 hit points left. So Morezi, looking at this roper, this giant stalagmite-looking creature made of rock with a giant crack in its side and its eyes scarred and the rope tentacles going every which way. You're invisible and you're coming up to it. Tell me how you kill this roper.
I mean, I do it barbarian style. I run, I jump, and when I land, my halberd is inside of its head.
You leap up, and there's the last thing it sees is the knife's edge blade of your halberd coming towards it, and it just and you bring it right through one of the very few weak points of this roper, its eye, its single giant eye, and your halberd sinks almost all the way to the end of the hilt. And remember, your halberd is taller than you are. As it just right into the body, y'all can actually see the haft of the shaft going through its mouth down into its body as it and then it just sort of slumps down, and you have defeated this roper. Whew. And you hear from inside the hut, "Yay!"
Well, Morezi, I think
Fantastic.
you possibly have some family business to deal with. And so Tix is going to go inspect the pit and make sure that there was nobody else down there or any treasure or anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you say treasure. You are a gnome, and you're not a dwarf, but gnomes certainly know, and particularly you, being the follower of Garl Glittergold, understand gems and valuables. Doing an inspection of this area, what you find after a while is that what you took for rocks, some of the outlying area, where the outer edge of this blasted area, are rocks, but they were made of gold. They were actual gold. They were big, too. Like, some of them were about as big as maybe like a soccer ball, so very valuable, but they have become something else. They are not gold anymore. And they are giving off little faint wisps of green. And so you think, you're not sure, Tix, in your investigation, you think whatever happened here actually happened on the outside and went inwards, not the other way around as you first thought. In fact, what you think happened is that whatever happened culminated in the center and then actually punched its way downward, opening up this cavern where this roper was, probably damaging it in the process. Which is why it looks so weird. And maybe why it couldn't hear and why it just had wrapped around him but hadn't killed him. None of this you know for sure, of course, but that seems to be the case.
Interesting. So I'll mark all that knowledge, and I guess there's no good gold left.
No. And in fact, anytime you get near one of these gold things, that little wisps of green come up and they make you slightly nauseous.
Don't
I will-
touch it, it's evil.
I will cast
exactly.
Dispel Magic on one of the larger pieces of gold and see if that has any effect on it.
Okay. I would actually like you to make a divinity roll.
I will make a divinity roll. And that is a 21.
Okay. With that 21, you cast Dispel, and you actually feel... you dispel the magic from it. You feel it. It just kind of like... And becomes like a... It actually almost becomes lead, like a base metal. But you do feel the magic leaving it, and you actually feel this as a cleric of Glaro Glittergold. Let me try that again. You feel this as a cleric of Garl Glittergold. You feel evil leaving this rock. Whatever was done to it is absolutely evil. You certainly could, of course, could do that to all of these, but they seem to be just the remnants of whatever happened here. So I'm gonna cut just a little bit. As you said earlier, I think what Pinton or Tix, I don't remember which one, about Merezi having a moment with this gentleman, and y'all are talking together off in the corner where you can discuss things, and that's when Lashra comes up.
While they're all doing their individual things,
Mm-hmm.
there's no range on this, huh? Okay, great, that's even better. I'd like to cast Glibness on myself, hopefully not being noticed.
Okay.
And I am going to walk up to the Kenku and say, I have something I'm supposed to share with you. I need you to trust me. You're going to feel magic wash over you. Please just let it happen. This is a good thing, I say to everyone.
Okay. Well, and y'all have all kind of spread out a little bit, so unless... if you want, this can be kind of like he's a little off to the side because he's not
absolutely. Really... If I can corner him, then yes.
Everyone is kind of spreading out a little bit and doing a little investigating and looking around. Merezi is talking with him. Tix, Thora is kind of helping Tix with the investigation, and Penton, you're checking on Audrey. And also kind of keeping an eye out that you know that you're going to need to find some food soon. And I'm sorry, Lee. What would your character? Sorry. No, you're fine. What would your character Lee have done while everyone was kind of doing their own thing?
Kind of be looking around for other dangers, honestly. I mean, he is a thief after all, and you don't really turn those instincts off. So he probably would notice that something's off. But, you know, we just fought something that is a little creepy, so...
Okay. So what we need to do right now is she's going to come up to you, and she's going to say, there's something very important that I need to tell you, as she said. And she reaches out to touch you, and this is just for role-playing purposes. Do you think
you're not going to let her touch me?
Okay, so that's where
I actually don't need to touch him.
Exactly. So she's reaching out as if to touch you, and you are recoiling, but that's when she casts the spell. She casts Modify Memory, and your lovely DM is going to double check because this roll is kind of important. This is a will saving throw, and you are using your bard skill to cast this on your wind instrument. And so I would like you to make that roll, Lashra.
What is the total modifier? Okay,
so the total, and it's okay. It's confusing. So your wind instrument is actually plus 17.
Okay. Well,
I have no chance.
That's
absolutely none.
13 on the dice, so that's 30 in total.
So
30 in total.
Yeah.
So I would still like you to roll, Lee, because it will determine the total effect of the spell.
Okay.
You could get 20?
Mm-hmm.
I did.
No!
You got it. Did you roll a nat
20? Yeah, so 24.
Okay, so my rule is one of my rule of cools is that if you roll a natural 20, it still has an effect even if you're not in combat. The normal rule is your natural 20 works on attacks for that purposes. However, what this means is
I mean, she kind of is attacking me. I didn't consent to this.
Well, it's true.
This
It is
no,
an
that's
attack.
Absolutely.
So what I'm going to say is that she succeeds in her spell. However, you will have a chance to do something about it later. Whereas normally it simply would succeed and your memory would be changed.
So he sees basically, if this was like a projector, he sees what I want him to see, but he knows that he's watching himself see what I want him to see, and he can do something about it later.
Exactly. So there will be a chance for you to do something about this later. But she leans forward, and we, the viewer, don't see what happens. We don't see the modification, but she does whisper one thing to you. What does she say?
Oh, Sakai. And that is the one thing that I say.
Okay. You just hear her voice, and suddenly it fills your mind, and you hear Osokai. And then she's just you kind of blink for a moment, and you don't know why you were standing here all alone, why you suddenly felt on guard. And she turns and smiles at you and walks away. And in the exploration and everything, you all don't notice that Lashra is gone. She just walks away and she is gone. And
Ain't that fun-interesting?
that's where we'll end. Chafing Armor, episode 98. Very interesting, everyone. Got a neat way to end that.
I don't like having my mind invaded, thanks very much. Especially not with the name of my still not quite gotten over past character. That's upsetting.
So we will get back to that. We will get back to that. We want to thank again our wonderful guest, Tia, for coming on and playing. Thank you, Tia.
Thanks for
you,
playing
Tia.
with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
I
very
had
much.
a lot of fun, considering I thought this was next week, and I thought I'd have more than a couple hours. I'm so sorry. Thank you
you did
for,
wonderful
We could
job
never
jumping on there.
We would never have been able to tell, don't worry.
oh gosh, professional over here. Streams 24/7.
And speaking of professional, Tia, tell people where they can find you.
Oh god, please don't watch me. I'm a Twitch streamer called Roleplayers, and you can find me on Twitter at roleplayers_TV, both roleplayers, ROLE. Thank you for this.
Thank you.
My dice
Thank you.
will never be the same. What have you done to them?
Yes,
Pass
you
her
have
curse
been
on
cursed
you.
Passed on our contamination.
Of
What
our
I've-
terrible rolls.
What I found is if you put them outside for a couple of days as punishment,
In a thunderstorm.
generally, yeah, it's generally okay. Make sure they experience all weather conditions, and you'll be fine.
I'll do
Learn their
anything.
lesson.
This is-
Yes,
Well,
they must
thank
be
you,
taught a
thank you
lesson.
again for listening. We appreciate it so much, and everyone have a wonderful evening.
You too.
To
G'nay.
you as well.
Thanks for not killing us.
And we, well, I tried, and we will roll with you soon.